Okay, everyone, it's 2:31. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Really appreciate everybody taking the time on a Friday afternoon at 2:30 Eastern, anyway, to log in to learn about the new Aflac Everwell Integration with Innovative Enrollment Solutions. So again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lee Stokes. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for Innovative Enrollment Solutions, or IES as we call it. Want to make sure everybody knows that you're currently you're muted. So I'm asking if you have any questions to use the question tab. Some of you have already been doing that. And if you have questions specifically during the demo, I would just request that you put them into that chat or question feature. And at the end of the demo, given enough time, I'll answer as many questions as I can. I suspect that as we kind of go through this demo, you'll see that I'll answer most of the questions that you would have, and then if you need to speak to us afterwards, you can certainly reach out. We are very excited to partner with the Aflac Everwell team to bring additional functionality to the field, and our hope really is that this third-party integration will add to your revenue and enhance your ability to win more cases, because that's really what it's all about. And speaking of winning, I will do a drawing at the end of this demo for a $300 Visa gift card immediately following the demo. So before I get started and actually kind of get into what you're looking at on your screen, I wanted to give you some of the value points of utilizing IES when it comes to your enrollments, in addition to the Everwell system. So first of all, our traditional iEnrollsolutions package is available for agent-assisted, both on and offline. It's also available to do self-service, complete self-service. You can enroll both group and traditional Aflac product through our platform, even in the same enrollment, which is what I'm going to show you today. You can enroll core benefits. You can enroll other supplemental carriers' products. Our system also allows for you to offer a benefit administration system that you can leave behind for your employer opportunities. We also feature an employee portal, so employees can have access to important information post-enrollment. I'm also going to demonstrate for you a robust reporting feature. And one of the advantages of using a third-party system is that you have immediate access to your data as enrollments are ongoing and at the end of the enrollment. And then lastly, I'm going to show you our integrated payment portal. We can effectuate split bill, consolidated billing, or direct bill through our connectivity to Aflac's current vendors that they've approved for these types of payment processing. And I guess in addition to what I just told you, one last thing, you will also have access to Aflac's virtual call center using our third-party platform. So having said all that, our platform does quite a bit, and it is fully integrated with Aflac currently. And for the sake of time today, I'm going to go through an agent-assisted enrollment where we're going to show you how the system looks and how you can enroll core benefits, Aflac individual via Everwell, and also Aflac group benefits, all in the same enrollment. And then at the end, I'll show you the payment portal, and I'll show you the robust reporting portal as well. So just kind of diving into it, the first screen you're looking at here is the sign-on screen for you as an enroller. This is your authentication screen. Once you're into the program, you're going to have to select the case that you're working on. If you've been assigned numerous cases, you'll see them all in this drop-down box. If you've asked us during the enrollment to program for multiple payroll locations, you'll see all those different payroll locations here. That happens a lot, especially in multiple employer unions, or if you've got many divisions located within one company, we can list all of them here, and we can break the enrollment out separately by those payroll locations. So when I click next, here it is, we're right into the enrollment. So I'm going to just point out a couple of things on this screen. This is where you will look up demographic information specifically for people that we've preloaded into the platform. If you need to add somebody that we don't have in the platform, you can simply click Add. At the top of the screen is your navigation bar. It tells you exactly where you are in the enrollment. And then in the lower right-hand corner, you'll notice this throughout the enrollment that there's a live chat feature. So as an enroller, as you're involved in an enrollment, we are manning a live chat feature, so if you have any questions, concerns regarding our technology, you can immediately talk to somebody in our help desk and IT department, and they'll assist you with any questions or concerns you have. So we've built into the logic the Google lookup search, if you will. So you only have to put the first letter or two in somebody's name, and then it will populate that information for you. And what the system is doing now, it's going out to Everwell and it's retrieving any information that's been preloaded that may have been updated, including beneficiary information, products purchased, all those things. And here it is, it's going to populate that all on the screen. So you see there are a lot of different data fields here. I would tell you that we don't necessarily need to collect all of this data. It's really just to show you that we have the ability to collect any amount of information that's needed to complete policy issuance for a particular enrollment and carrier. We also have the ability on the screen to collect information that might involve underwriting. So if you've got two sets of rate tables and one's tobacco dependent, then depending on what somebody selected here, it would populate those rates throughout the enrollment, so you don't have to bother looking up different tables for both tobacco or non-tobacco. On the next screen is where we have collected dependent information. So if we've been given dependent information in advance on the census, you'll find it right here located on the bottom of the screen on this table. We give you the ability to edit this information. If you're sitting with somebody who's enrolling and they say, well, that person is aged out, or that information is not correct, you can simply change that. If you need to add another dependent, you can just simply type the information in, click save, and it'll appear in this table at the bottom of your screen. So this is what the dependent screen looks like, and assuming we've loaded all this stuff correctly, you're simply just going to click next to go ahead and start the enrollment. So immediately you're into our core benefit screen. So this is how IES shows core benefits to you as an enroller and as an enrollee. You simply are going to select who's going to be covered, and then you're going to select the different plan option. You'll see that there's different tabs here depending on what the employer's offering. You have the ability right here in the enrollment to click on a brochure. So if the brochure is being offered by the core medical carrier, you're going to find it right there. Certainly, if there's videos available, we're going to have all that information available to you. So if you want to play something for the enrollee, you can do that right here. The other thing I would point out is core benefits come in what I call a lot of different flavors these days. This could be a limited medical plan. It could be a MEC plan. It could be dental. It could be anything that is not your traditional supplemental benefits. And we can actually have up to 8 tabs on this screen. So again, once the core benefit elections have been made, and simply it's scrolling down, there's a small disclaimer for core benefits. Hit accept and continue, and then you're into the supplemental benefit screen. So on this screen, you see 4 Aflac logos. This fourth one here is actually Aflac traditional product, and this logo will be changed to reflect that. It'll say Aflac Everwell. So anything you look into enroll through Everwell would appear under this logo. These are Aflac group products. So in this particular enrollment, we have access to 3 products in Everwell, which you'll see, and we have access to 3 different group products as well. So in the group product environment, this is what it looks like. Essentially, you have the ability to select coverage, amounts, products, all those types of things, and it automatically calculates the premium based on what we've established up front. You have the ability to look at, obviously, the sales information on the screen, but if you need to see a full brochure, it's available to you right there, instantly on the screen. And if you want to, you can click send to mail, and it'll send that brochure, which we just viewed, right to that member. And you'll see throughout the enrollment that we've pre-populated that email address in order to make sure that you can email any information pertinent as you're going through it for this particular enrollee. So if we were to click next, after making a selection for this product, and again, you have the option of waiving or accepting coverage. It takes you to the next screen. The next screen is simply going to have those different underwriting questions that Aflac may require as it regards this particular product. So once you've answered all those questions, you would click next. If everything's GI, I'll guarantee issue and there's no questions, well, then you're not going to see any questions on this screen. Now, you might get to this point too, and maybe a person says, listen, I'm not quite sure I want to buy this product. Let me go home and talk to my spouse. You can hit the quote button. It will save everything up until this point. And then when you or any other enroller sits down with that person, then you go back into the screen, that product will be appended. It'll actually say quote right next to it. You can click on it, and then you can actually accept the coverage from that point. You don't lose any point of the enrollment that you've done up until that point. So in this screen, you'll see this is where we collect beneficiary information. We've pre-populated in a drop-down box all the different dependents that we know about, just to try to make it easier. So if they want to make one of those dependents their beneficiary, it's as simple as selecting one from that drop-down box, and it'll populate here, and we will collect that information for the carrier. And then you're on to the supplemental benefit disclaimer. So here we are on the disclaimer. Again, you have the ability to send this disclaimer, and I would recommend that anybody that does enrollments send that disclaimer directly to the member so they can't say they never received it. And then you'll see we're at the e-sign screen. So e-signing, for this particular enrollment is going to look like this: 4 first letters of the last name, last 4 digits of social, and the date of birth. So I want to point out, if you look down the bottom of your screen in the left-hand corner here, you see some information. First of all, you see the number 48 between these 2 orange dots. That's the person's attained age during this particular enrollment. The next thing is the person's name. So you can get the first 4 letters of the last name. You don't need to be writing, notes as you're going through this. You've got the date of birth, the month, and the day right here. And then you've got the last 4 of the Social Security. So again, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to not have to take a bunch of handwritten notes as you're going through these enrollments. And also, we want to try to eliminate as much paper as you can by allowing you to take those brochures, email them, and make them all available throughout the enrollment. Let's see if I did this. This is you're going to put your writing number in. Next. And then what you're going to see here so far is what we've enrolled in so far. And then once you're here, you can click continue. Brings you back to this page if you want to enroll in any other products. For this particular demonstration, we're going to show you how we've integrated with Everwell. So you have the ability to, again, within the same enrollment, enroll in Everwell, enroll group products, have all that information brought back into our platform for your purposes of reporting, benefit administration, all of those things. So this is probably something most of you guys are familiar with. You probably have seen the screen. In this particular enrollment, you've got 3 different products available. We'll just click on one of them for the purposes of our demonstration today. So in this instance, we've got this Aflac accident product. We're selecting the state and location of enrollment. And again, you're probably familiar with the fact that you've got all these different tools at your disposal from Aflac to include documents and videos on the product. You're going to select occupation class if that's being asked for. You need to answer a couple of questions. Either proposed insured, we're not replacing anything. Individual coverage, pre-tax. Again, these are all things that you should be familiar with. There's your beneficiary information. We'll just say no riders for the purpose of this enrollment. And then we're going to select these disclaimers. And we're right on to the signing of the forms. So we're going to submit that, and it's going to bring us back where we can enroll in the other products if we want to do that. You see now that this is checked green. Accident product has been purchased. These two still have an X on them. So if you were to go X out of Everwell right at that point, hit update benefit statement, it's going to bring us back to our benefit statement, and you're now going to see that we have this individual AFLAC accident product that we've enrolled in addition to our group short-term disability and our Aetna Open Choice PPO plan. So at this point, there's a couple of things that you could do. So depending on the enrollment, if you were finished, there'll be a button here that says finished. I've got a button that says continue because I want to point out a couple of other features of our platform. At this point, though, in the benefit statement screen, you can print this benefit statement by just clicking print, and this is what it would look like. We would brand it for your specific opportunity. You can email this benefit statement directly from our platform. Again, trying to avoid having you to do anything on paper if you don't have to. If this was an opportunity that involved a direct bill where we needed to collect payment information directly from the person that you were enrolling, we'd provide to you a screen that looks something like this. It tells them exactly what their monthly draft is. If you needed to collect bank account or payment card payment information, you can do it right here within the same enrollment. So again, traditionally in a payroll deduction environment, this is going to say finish here, and what it's going to do is going to take you right back to the search screen so you can actually put in the next person's name and start the next enrollment. So we've just taken you through a complete enrollment in a fairly short period of time with me doing some explanation. And I know what's important, from this standpoint, once you've got people in the system, you want to see what the success is perhaps of your particular enrollment. So we're going to provide for each enrollment a URL that's going to be attached to your enrollment, a dashboard per se. And what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to log in while the enrollment's going on, select your case, and then you can see the different metrics available to you through our platform for your enrollment. So we're taking all the information. In this particular enrollment, there's 13 people who have enrolled. It gives you your total overall percentage of people, and then that's broken down into seen and not seen as a percentage. If you want to know what your premium written so far to date is, or your average premium per enrollee, you can see that here. This shows you how many days you have left in your enrollment. And this nice little graph here shows you what the product mix is, so you can ensure that you're getting a nice mix of different products. From a reporting standpoint, you've got reports that we offer to your brokers, enrollment reports by product, waive coverage, seen, not seen. You as the enroller can see what you're doing personally by product, by location, by premium. Finance reports, same thing, product, enroller. Failed transactions, if you are taking direct payment information, you can find out if any of these transactions have failed. And a summary report by product, by enroller. If you wanted to export all the demographic information, I know as part of the sales process, some of you talk about collecting updated demographic information from the employees or members of a union or an association. So if you've done that within this enrollment, you can simply print this this summary report for the employer or the union or the association, update all of that data and give them a nice fresh copy at that point in time, what that looks like. So that's what we wanted to share with you today. There's other features and functionality that the iEnroll solution provides, which is our self-service module. We don't have time to get into that today, but we're certainly available to set up a private demonstration for anybody that might be having trouble today, either signing in or somebody that might want to look at that self-service module. So in answering some questions that I know I haven't looked at the screen yet. I know there's a couple of them up there. probably the biggest question I have is, what does this cost? So from a cost perspective, if we're integrating Everwell into an enrollment where we're also adding core benefits, it costs 4% of premium. So we're a commissionable entity, so we basically charge 4% of premium in order to be able to build out the case for you and provide everything that you've seen in the enrollment today. We're looking at basically cases that have at least 100 eligible employees for this platform. And then from a build time perspective, we can deliver the platform to you generally within a couple of weeks. The only anomalies to that, if you bring us opportunities where we might have to build, feeds to carriers that maybe we're not currently working with, or if we're having some issues around connectivity with other carriers, those things sometimes take longer. But we've generally found out that we can deliver the platform for Everwell and with just adding some core benefits in maybe 2 to 2.5 weeks. Might take 3 to 4 weeks on the outside if there's some complexity around the enrollment. So again, I'm going to take a look and see if there's any questions that I can answer at this point. Okay, so there's a question that says, is the same functionality to email a brochure disclaimer for the Everwell products as the group products from the same address, or does it look different? So I think in answering that question, the answer is it should always look the same. So if it's in our environment, everything should look the same. We're populating all that information in advance of you ever getting to those screens. So again, everything traditionally, again, should look the same. If I haven't answered your question, you can clarify it, or you can send an email. I'm going to give you, I'm going to put on the screen an email address for you to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns after we get done with the webinar today. So I've answered the next 2 questions. So you're asking, do we need to be licensed to use this? No, there's no additional licensing required. We basically provide training on a case-by-case basis. We'll do training 48 hours in advance of launching into a specific case. So there's another question that asks, what are the transmission options? And what's the process for the apps? So the transmission process is seamless in our platform. Once you've consummated an enrollment and you've e-signed for it, we're going to transmit that data automatically to AFLAC. There's really nothing for you to do. There's no buttons to click or anything of that nature. Another question is, are we working with carrier feeds to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan? Well, the answer to that is no, but we work with other Blue Cross providers, and we can traditionally provide an output to them in their format, and we can build that as part of our normal build. We don't have a direct EDI feed, if that's your question. Another question is it 4% of the AFLAC and 4% of the core as far as our cost is concerned? The answer is no. It's 4% of the AFLAC products that are involved in the enrollment. So there's another question, what about employees that do not have an email? I think the answer to that is pretty simple. We're not going to be able to send them the information directly. So another question that says, will this be a group-specific enrollment product? This product is designed to be built out group-specific each time. So each group that you have, we would build out the specific parameters and products that are required for that specific group each time. Another question someone is asking, do they need to be appointed with the companies and the core benefits enrollment? That's a question I can't answer, but I would think the answer would be yes, if in fact you're enrolling for those core carriers. If you're not receiving commissions from those core carriers, then traditionally you do not need to be appointed with them. So another question is this similar to eCentral? And the answer is no. eCentral is another platform that was built specifically to target the small to mid-sized group brokerage markets. It doesn't have the flexibility, it does not have the all of the reporting features, and certainly doesn't have all the connectivity that we have with an IES and the ability to do some of the things that I've demonstrated today. So I want to mention one last thing because we have a few more minutes. We do have a master build program with Aflac, and we know we're in the last quarter. So if you have any opportunities that have at least 100 eligible employees and you're looking for 3 products, Aflac Group, CI, Accident, and Hospital Indemnity, we can deploy into the field in less than a week, times less than 7 business days, depending on the state, but most states are available. Our platform already loaded up with those programs. So if you get a last minute enrollment and you need to have a program that has those 3 products already built out with a very robust underwriting offer. We do have a master build product with Aflac. It's our underwriting offer. It's a blanket underwriting offer with those parameters: minimum of 10 enrolled, minimum of 10 eligible employees. Again, it's group product, and we can deploy that in the field for you quickly. And if you have more questions about that, you can send an email to the email that you're looking at on the screen at sales@iEnrollsolutions.com, and we'll be happy to give you some more information on that program. So I don't see any more questions right now that need to be answered. So I do appreciate everybody's time today. I've got a program that's actually polling everybody that's on the webinar currently, and it looks like Stephen Hart has just came up as the winner of the $300 gift card that we were giving out for participating in today's webinar. Lastly, I'll mention that we have recorded this. Everybody will be receiving a link to the recording, so you'll be able to come back and take a look at it if you need to, but also encourage everyone to reach out to us at the sales email if you would like to schedule a demo or consult on a specific opportunity to see if it's something that you should be looking at IES for, or if it's something you should be looking at Aflac Direct for. So again, we really appreciate everybody's time today. We hope this was very informative. We hope you found an opportunity to expand your capabilities with the Aflac Everwell system that hopefully will drive more revenue for you, not only this year, but for years to come. Thank you again, everybody, for participating today.